Hello and welcome back to the Cosy Rosy Crochet channel, and a huge welcome if you are new here. Today's video is a little bit slower and a little bit cozier too. I'm going to be reflecting on how January has been, doing a spot of crafting, and I would love it if you could join me at the same time. This certainly isn't a video tutorial in any way, it's more of a cozy little check-in and a chance for me to say thank you too. Later in the video, I am going to be sharing some of your amazing finished projects, and I'm also going to be taking the chance to highlight some of my own finished projects too. I do need your help with a couple of questions on a new design that I'm working on, and I would love your input on that as well, please. So grab your project, I've got mine here, get cozy, grab a cuppa, and let's settle down and do some crafting together. So I thought I would start by sharing something that I have most recently finished, which is the We Love Granny cushion cover. It's quite a large one. It's a 16 by 16 inch square cushion pillow inside here. And the first part of the video has already released. It was the beautiful granny heart motif. It starts with a granny heart. No, it starts with a granny square in the middle, and then we continue on to create these gorgeous granny heart motifs. That video is already available for you. I'll link it here. And then the next part, because this is releasing in 3 sections, the second part is going to be how we transform these squares into a layered granny square. So they are attached and crocheted on rather than worked into the square. I just think it gives it a little bit more oomph, and when you see all of them together they look really, really cute. The third and final part is going to be how to join your squares, how to crochet the back panel, and complete your cushion as well. What do you think? Isn't it absolutely stunning? I really enjoyed revisiting granny squares in a slightly different format. You know that I am a huge fan of the traditional granny square. Sometimes I just can't be bothered to make them. But these heart motifs have stitched up so quickly, and then adding on the layered element of the square has been so simple too. And in fact, there are only 4 ends to weave with each of these squares. So it works out quite a nice, quick and easy project. And as you can see, it's a rather comfy cushion as well. Another project that I've been working on is this, well, is going to be a double knit weight sweater, kind of ideal for those changeable weather days. I've been sat here and I've just undone a load of stitches, so that's fun. But I need your help because this is the back panel, and once this is done, I'm moving on to the sleeves, and I can't decide whether or not to do a tapered sleeve on this design or to just do that normal kind of like puffy sleeve that we all really like at the moment. Knowing me, I might end up doing both in the design, so you can choose, but I would like to know what your preference would be. Would you be more likely to make a tapered sleeve, or would you prefer one of those kind of puffy bishop sleeves on a lightweight jumper? Let me know in the comments, please. Move this out of the way. Another one of the projects that I've been working on is a crocheted basket. I was gifted loads of the Aldi macrame cord. You know, my friend Julie, she's as much as a fan as I am when it comes to working with macrame. And I know that Aldi has just had their yarn week last week. So I thought I would start using up all of the yarn that I have in my stash, making some baskets. But I want to put a twist on it. It's a bit experimental and I have no idea whether or not it's actually going to work, but I'm going to share the process with you if I can gather all of the supplies quickly enough, so that I can transform this a little bit. I've got quite a few sizes stitched up already. This is the biggest one. I always leave that till last. And yes, it is a little bit tiring on the hands if you're wondering. I thought this yarn is going to be similar to the macrame cord they have at Hobbycraft, but it's actually a little bit firmer and a little bit more challenging to work with. This shade is called Pumice, and although it looks quite cream on the screen, it does have like a little fleck of shade to it. I don't know, it's not as creamy as the cream macrame cord, the Return of the Mac you can get at Hobbycraft. I am liking the colour. I'm not sure I'm enjoying working with it as much as the Return of the Mac, but we have it in the stash, so it's going to get used. Whether or not this idea works out, I will share my progress with you and share the finished pattern as well. There are a couple of variations on this one, different sizes and different bases as well. Quite excited to be working with this and creating something a little bit different because I haven't made a basket for a very, very long time. The final pattern I have recently made is finishing off my marled hat. As you can see, I am loving pink at the moment. I will give you a full look at my outfit today because I have treated myself to some new cozy joggers, and they have the really cute saying of "have a nice day" on them, and I really, really like them. They were from fast fashion, sorry, they were from Primark, but they're for around the house. This top's actually going to be destined to work, which means I'll be wearing it at work. It's going to get filthy, so I wasn't going to spend a lot of money on it. I am super pleased with how this hat has turned out. It looks huge, but it is, and it is super, super cozy. Shall I put it on and ruin my hair for you? Or I could just insert a picture. I'll pop it on. My ribbed marled yarn hat that I created as part of the make your own marled yarn tutorial. I shared in that video a little swatch of the cream and the white, and I went on to finish this lovely hat. It most certainly has been one of those projects that has earned its keep because I've worn it quite a few times already. It's so cozy and extra warm by adding that extra strand of yarn in there, and I am super pleased with how it's turned out. Had to grab a coffee. One of the things that I have really enjoyed seeing this week is actually seeing some of your finished projects. It's been an absolute pleasure seeing what you've been making, and I thought I would highlight a few of them first and foremost right here. One of the first photos I'm going to share is from one of my pattern testers, Nessa. She made both the Celtic weave headband and the wrist warmers. She did have to give her first pair away because someone took a fancy to them in the family, and she's gone on to make a subsequent set for herself. I love the colours that she chose, and it really highlights that beautiful stitch pattern that you can create with that pattern. Another one of my testers, Effie, she made the granny heart into a micro crochet project and transformed them into a pair of earrings. I'm working on a pair of earrings myself, and I'll share that process with you in the very near future. With the heart motif, it actually started out as a singular pattern, and I just said to my testers, what would you make with it? And it was really nice to see people stitching them up and just adding them to an existing project, or as Effie has done, creating a pair of earrings out of that tiny little motif and shrinking it right down. It really reinforces that message that motifs can be made in any size. I received some really happy mail from Freddie, who shared some images of her mum trying on her handmade cardigan made by the talented Freddie. She created the cable and cross cardigan. She purchased a kit from me, I think it must have been at Harrogate, and she's already finished it up. She was impressed with how quick she stitched it up. She selected the, what colour was it? The glowing garnet colourway of the Sirdar Jewel Spun Aran, and she purchased it as a kit and completed this beautiful cardigan modelled by her mum, what looks like on Christmas morning, as soon as it was out of the wrapping. And it is such a wonderful feeling to be able to gift something that you've made by hand. So well done to Freddie. I've got an image here of Sophie, who is wearing her recently finished wrapped up in diamonds sweater. This is one of my premium patterns that I sell a lot of at shows. It has sold out at 2 shows last year, and it only launched, I think it was February last year. It's such a unique pattern in the fact that it's worked from the bottom up, so you can adjust the neckline when you're kind of nearly finished rather than working it from top down. I think it gives you more control over where your neckline sits. For instance, this is a little bit too high for me, so I wear my necklines a little bit lower so that it just sits nice and comfortably. I think you'll agree with me when I say that Sophie has achieved the perfect fit on that sweater. Another image I've received in the last week or so actually is Dawn's Strawberry Sunday Hexie cardigan. I love the colourway she's selected here. It's a James C. Brett yarn. I think it was called Surprise, but spelled a little bit weird, so I need to check that I've got that right. But it's such a beautiful colourway. It's just a double knit weight or a size 3 yarn that she's used, and being variegated, it kind of highlights all the different stitches and the texture that little bit differently to using a lighter weight cotton that it was originally designed in. Seeing these pieces being gifted and worn really is such a reminder that crafting can really connect us in such a special way. If you've been making something this month, I would love to hear all about it. And of course, even more so, I would love to see a picture of it. One of my aims for January this year was certainly to make it feel more cozy. It certainly has been a chilly January, and I'm sat here with the fire blazing again. I would show you, can I rotate? Yeah, the fire is definitely going. These shorter days are slowly beginning to get a little bit longer. 3 minutes a day, they get longer by. I've consciously been trying to lean into the cozier season and not just rush through it or wish it past. It's meant slower mornings, not rushing to get up and dressed and ready. It's been spending a little bit more time with my yarn and imagining different kind of projects that I can make with what I already have, and letting those projects take time and letting them develop, like the granny motif heart that ended up as a complete cushion cover. I am really curious what you've been doing to create a nicer, calmer, and maybe even a cozier January. Has it been through taking more time to spend with your crafting? Or have you been doing something completely different that makes you feel that little bit more cozy? The concept of slowing down and being calmer seems like such a simple process. I will be honest and say that it's been a bigger change than I anticipated. And I'm not very good with change at the best of times anyway. Even though I have my whole year pretty much mapped out, especially when it comes to yarn shows, I've got that full list of the next 11 months ahead of me ready to go. I've even kind of mapped out the patterns I want to design and when I'll be aiming to release them. I'm still having moments of where I'm questioning as to what I should be doing and where should I be going next and what should I be working on, and especially wondering, should I be doing more? Because I'm actually enjoying this process of slowing down, but my brain hasn't quite kicked in that what I'm producing or creating is enough. In actual fact, January has been a little bit fuller than I originally planned. There's been extra videos where I've created additional videos for the actual cushion cover. There's been an extra chat or two as well, which I've very much enjoyed. But it's really been a reminder that planning to be calmer and slowing things down is going to be a little bit more of a process for me to ease into that simpler technique of planning and doing. There are always going to be those days where things do work out as planned, and I imagine I'm still going to have more of those days where I am rushing to catch up with things that I've missed. I'm learning to say that that's going to be okay, but I might need to look at some strategies to avoid the anxious feelings of not having enough done. Any tips around creating a plan and sticking to it would be gratefully received. So much for getting lots of stitching done while I chat to you. I've just sat here and enjoyed my coffee. I do want to take a moment to say thank you, especially to those who are an existing member of our community, and of course acknowledging all the new people that have joined us recently. My video about making your own marled yarn was seen by quite a large number of people in a short space of time, especially for one of my little videos, and I'm very appreciative if anybody did hype it up. It meant so much to me that I can share a technique that can allow people to make use of what they have without having to always consistently be spending more money and buying more yarn. A lot of us do have quite a considerable stash, and it's nice to know that we can use it in such a nice way and to create such unique projects. I really have enjoyed wearing my beanie, and it really does feel such a unique project, and it kind of feels like wearing that hat is carrying a little bit of our community around with me each time I wear it. Last week I got to attend the Waltham Abbey Wool Show, which is just always such a pleasure. It felt so good to be back out at a yarn show again. I did get to meet some fabulous people, alongside all the glorious people that I featured in the video, including what we're now calling the dancing girl, because I've forgotten her name. I think it was Claire. She had the most amazing crocheted skirt on and gave me the most amazing twirl. I was also lucky enough to have a very brief chat with some of the contestants from the Game of Wool, they were as lovely as they seemed. I recently shared a video on why attending a yarn show is so much more than just shopping, and that community element and feeling we get by attending these yarn shows, being amongst the people that share our own love of crafting, be it knitting, crochet, needle felting, all of it comes together. And that feeling of being in a room with people that have the same love as you without any question is just such a wonderful feeling for me. They really are about inspiration, about belonging to a group of like-minded people, and of course that lovely feeling of community. I have to remind you that I do have a giveaway coming up later this week over on my Instagram, and it is your chance to attend a brand new yarn show that is being held in Manchester. Before I go, I would love to hear from you. I'd love to know what it is that you've been working on. Have you been stitching away as I've chatted, or have you been thinking about your next make? With February coming up in the next week or so, I have a few ideas brewing in my mind of techniques I'd like to share with you, but I'd love to know if there's something specific you would like for me to go through in some detail with you. I also want to say thank you again for spending some time with me today. I will get back to my stitching in a moment, and I hope that you've enjoyed seeing some sneak peeks of the designs that are coming up in the very near future. Take care, and I will see you very, very soon.